it's taken 20 long years of that journey to realise that you're in control of your own thoughts, really.
But you are. Like, you can't control your thoughts, but you can be in charge of them. There's a big difference, you know. And we spoke earlier about you driving the car and stuff, and if thoughts did come, but you've kind of mastered that now, to be fair. But anybody listening or watching, if these negative thoughts do come, don't resist them, as if to say, oh my God, here we go again. Oh, how am I going to deal with these thoughts, you know? What you resist will persist, okay? So when the thoughts come, just stop in the moment and say, does this thought serve me, yes or no? This too will pass.
I've heard this too will pass.
And it will.
Yeah.
It will, you know.
And that's e-scooters then, is it?
Hello and welcome to Conversations with Cornelius. I'm a comedian. This podcast is about my life, my wife, my likes and dislikes, hurling, football, movies, sex, drugs and rock and roll without the sex, drugs and rock and roll. There are going to be special guests and always regular contributors, but mostly it's going to be me and my main squeeze, the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I'm your host, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, and we are in the Fearless Digital Network studios at an undisclosed location in Cork once again. The heat wave has apparently departed, but I am absolutely sweating. Apparently it has to be over 24 degrees to be a heat wave for 5 days in a row. I said that a couple of weeks ago. I think we've had 3 full weeks, not in a row, 2 in a row, and then 1 a couple of weeks ago. This has been one of the best summers of all time. Long may it continue. The one thing I noticed about the heat wave is, look, it's harder to sleep. We're sweating during the day. We're not used to the heat, but the fucking form of people in general is great. Like at home now, my kids are running around the place. My wife is smiling. I'm in great form myself, and it's definitely down to the weather. How long it'll continue, I don't know, but long may it continue. What is going on? Let me tell you about last weekend. We had a great weekend last weekend. On Saturday, myself and the team here from the Fearless Digital Network studios, we went up to North West Cork. We were filming sketches in Ballyhay, in Charleville, and in Newtown Chandram. Neelis O'Driscoll sketches. They're going to be out in a couple of weeks' time. We had great crack. We had a little bit of an incident in Charleville, all right. I won't get into that now because I've just talked for about 10 minutes before we got on. A bit of a weird experience in Charleville. But besides that, we actually had a good enough old crack. And then on Sunday, the All-Ireland final was on. Limerick and Galway, and Limerick won that. And we had Kieran Carey in here a couple of months back, and he predicted that there was nobody going to come near Limerick this year. And in fairness to him, he was dead right. The hat is taken off. Tip of the hat to Limerick. They were awesome. They won by, I think, 10 or 11 points. And it's very hard for a Cork man to see your next door neighbour doing so well, especially in a sport where you kind of pride yourself at being absolutely brilliant at. But we sadly haven't been at the table for quite a while now, you know. And fair play to this Limerick team. They're absolutely awesome. 1 to fucking 25, 26. They're unbelievable. They have an amazing team behind them. They have like a backroom team. Their coach, Kinnerk, is amazing. Their manager is amazing. Caroline Currid, who is in charge of all what's upstairs, which is pertinent to today's podcast as well. She's amazing. Everyone has been talking about the transformation that woman has done to that Limerick team. She is a serial winner, and whatever she's doing, I think Cork should open the checkbook and try and poach her. Do you know? I don't think that'll happen though, and I think if I did say it, and do you know what? If me saying that now, my life could be in danger. Do you know? Because Limerick people love her so much. What else is going on now? Oh, the World Cup. I don't know if you watched the World Cup. The World Cup final was on Sunday evening, Argentina and Spain. I watched it in my sitting room at home with my wife and my 2 kids, and sure, God love us, it was on at 8 o'clock. They could not stay awake beyond half time. We had to lift them upstairs and bring them to bed. And then we came down and we watched the rest of it, myself and my wife, and it was, do you know what? It was a boring enough old game. Argentina were like rabid, wild dogs chasing down Spain. The dark arts were in full flow with these guys. And they almost got it going. I watched the England game. We did a live stream for the England game here last week. And, geez, it was brilliant. We had great crack watching it. with Tig and Sully. But they were at the same racket the last day. You know, they had the greatest player of all time, in my opinion, Messi, who is in the twilight of his career now at 39, which is still very impressive. But beyond that, then they are just a team of pit bulls, and they just couldn't get away with it against Spain. Spain were a little bit too classy for them, and they wore them down eventually, and they won 1-0, as you probably know. But the racket after the game when the whistle went, I've never seen on the world stage such bad losers than the Argentinians. Jeez, they were fighting and boxing the Spanish players and stuff like that. It was just really weird to see it. Especially on the world stage. Do you know what I mean? There's millions and millions and millions of people watching this, and there they are. They don't give one fuck. They don't, like, and it was entertaining to watch, but at the same time, I didn't think it was great sportsmanship. But like, I don't think any of the Argentinians are on the first team anyway, or watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, and maybe they are. Although I do think Messi might be interested. All right, he is a patron. Patron, did I mention Patron? $5 a month. If you want to be a patron, less than the price of a pint. If you're saying to yourself, do you know what, Cornelius is a gas man there, I'd love to buy him a pint. Well, lads, I'm off the drink now since the 10th of May, but you could sign up to the Patron if you want. Sign up to the Patron, and you get a backlog of over 100 episodes. Today is an interesting day as well. Before I move on, I'm talking about being off the drink at the moment. Not that I'm a big drinker or anything like that, and it was more so to do with. To be honest, it was just more so to do with circumstances more than anything else. I didn't consciously decide to go off it. I just have not been in a situation where I've been drinking. But I have been a habitual cannabis user. If you listen to the Patreon, you'd know all about that. If you've ever come to see me on stage, you'd know all about that. And for about 20 odd years, I've been a habitual daily cannabis user in a very safe, recreational way, but initially for just to kind of alleviate a bit of stress and anxiety that I had in my head and in my body. And I suppose, I was talking about this on the Patreon this week, like the way the world has gone now and the way the rules of the world are gone now in Ireland in particular, you're taking a fierce risk. Even if you've a joint now, if you smoke a little bit of cannabis at 11 o'clock at night time, you could technically be over the limit 3 or 4 days later. And my whole life revolves around getting into my car, going to venues around Ireland. It's a risk I just can't take anymore. It's just a risk that I shouldn't have taken even, up to before I stopped, but it is a risk that I just can't take anymore. Like I would never obviously smoke and drive immediately, but I might have something the night before and it was at the back of my head and it was scratching in my head and I was becoming more and more anxious about it as the days went on. I was talking to my wife and we made a plan. The two of us made a plan and I'm on day 6 now, and the first couple of days, lads, were fucking brutal. Honest to God, I couldn't believe that I was, having these kind of withdrawal symptoms. But then I suppose, when you're doing something for 20 odd years, on a daily basis, you're about like, if you're having sugar in your tea, if you're having sugar in your coffee, if you're eating fast food, if you're smoking fags, there's going to be withdrawal symptoms when you stop. If you're drinking pints, if you're doing it every day. So I'm delighted to say now, day 6 today, and I couldn't give a shit about cannabis anymore. I'm full-time on the heroin now, and that's getting me through. So, so that's it. If you enjoy the podcast, I'd love for you to like and subscribe. Go to the Fearless Digital Network Studios. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe to the pod. Leave a comment if you enjoy the podcast. That really lifts us up, all the team here. It raises our vibration. It makes us feel fantastic. We feel that we're connecting with people. We feel that, we're not just in here making podcasts for our own egos. We're actually talking to people and people are listening to us. And so that's it really. That's what's going on with me this week. I have an amazing guest. I say this every week, right? I say this every week. And I mean it every week. Like last week's guest was absolutely amazing. We had Reggie. The week before that, we had John O'Connor from Newtown Chandram, the hurley maker and hurler. An amazing guest. The week before that, we had my wife. That hasn't come out yet. That's out next week. All brilliant guests. But this week's guest, I'll tell you this now. I am fascinated by him. Absolutely fascinated by him. I'm going to read you out the little intro that I have, right? So a few years ago, I did a course with a nun, right? In the birthplace of Nan O'Nagel in Killavullen. This course was on meridian lines, chakra balancing, and tapping, right? EFT. To this day, and this is a fact, right? To this day, before I go on stage, I go through a little routine, right? A little tapping routine. I start here, for those of you who are watching on YouTube and on Spotify. Tap here, I tap my solar plexus, and then I tap just underneath my rib cage, all right? And then I do a kind of a little visual thing that you can't really see here now. And I say a little mantra in my head over and over again. Maybe I find maybe a little quiet space 2 or 3 minutes before I'm just about to go on stage. And it centers me and it balances me and it brings me into the moment, into the present moment, into the now. And it has been utterly game-changing for my life, right? For my professional life. It genuinely has. Now, I never was very massively, troubled with stage fright or anything like that. But sometimes you'd have the old stomach would be a little bit, like if it was a big gig now, I was doing the Opera House this year, 1,000 people are outside there. I go through my routine and it's like I'm going out to the Coca Club to 50 people. That's what it was like. So anyway, as I said, I did this course, right? And it has changed my life, right? In a good way, right? So now some people might think this is gobbledygook, right? But regular listeners will know that, this is my vibe, right? I'm a spiritual motherfucker, right? That's what I am, okay? That's what I am. And you all know that, right? So, but anyway, during the pandemic, right, at the latter stages of the pandemic, I started to see on TikTok this lad from Cork popping up on my For You page, FYP, or your FYP page, or whatever you call it, right? And he was from the north side of Cork City, a distinctive Cork, beautiful accent, right? And he's talking about all these things that I love, right? Affirmations, tapping, vibrations, and how to deal with anxiety in a natural way. And I was absolutely fascinated. I've followed him on TikTok since, right? And he just kept popping up. And he does this, his style is he talks directly to the camera. And he'd have his little microphone there. And I was just fascinated by him. And every time he'd come up, I'd always watch his TikToks. And then a couple of weeks ago, I saw that he had an Instagram page and I smashed that button straight away. Followed that guy straight away. And the back of my head was like, I'm going to get in contact with this fella. Hopefully he'd be interested in doing a podcast. I'd love to get him onto my podcast. All right. He's super positive. He's super interesting. Right. But mostly he is himself. And that's the thing that really resonated with me. He's unashamedly himself. And that's a very, very unusual trait nowadays. Everyone has a mask on nowadays, I feel like, or they have certain types of masks, or they don't show their authentic self to everybody. Not this guy. This guy is as he is, right? He spoke and he speaks about the law of attraction, EFT, spirituality, and I am delighted to say that he joins me today in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to your friend and mine, Mr. Ger Brien, a.k.a. the tapping guy. And the crowd go wild.
Thanks a lot, Cornelius.
Ger, put it there, brother.
Thank you very much for
You're
the lovely introduction.
Not at all,
Just a
man.
small correction. I'm from the south side.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus, that's a big correction, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I thought you were an Ari. Are you sorry?
No, you probably saw the podcast with the two Norries. Maybe that's
yeah.
what you just assumed. Like,
Yeah, I just thought you were the third Nari.
Yeah.
What part of Cork are you from?
Ballyfihan.
Oh, Ballyfihan. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus, that's a fierce insult. So is it?
Not at all.
In the city, like there's a fierce kind of a Romeo and Juliet kind of vibe between the north side and the south side.
No, I always say that the Norries the salt of the earth. When I was working in construction, I used to love working up there. To be honest with you, be paying you before you go in the door.
Yeah.
I
might fucking see if I can get a few jobs up there. So, no, I didn't know that. No, I didn't know. See, I'm a culture. I'm from the country, and for me, anyone who's from the city, it doesn't matter what side of the city they're from the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And accents are very strange as well. Cork is gas like I'm from just outside Mallow. There's a Mallow accent and there's a Ballyclaw accent and there's a Fermoy accent, and then there's a north side accent. But then there's a Mayfield accent, and then there's a Knocknaheeny accent, and do you know what I mean? So it's very hard for me to decipher anyway. But so you're from Ballyfihan.
Yeah.
What did you have for your breakfast this morning?
Started off with a drink of apple cider vinegar and bicarbonate of soda, and then I had multivitamin, multimineral, and bowl of organic porridge with organic honey and a lovely bit of cream over it. Gorgeous.
Wow.
So the bicarbonate of soda and the apple cider vinegar, the bicarbonate of soda realkalizes the body, puts it into an alkaline state. The apple cider vinegar is excellent for digestion, and it also helps to burn fat around the midsection.
Mm.
Now, they can't really explain that at the moment still, but it does work.
Yeah, it's interesting about the vinegar because it's acidic, but it has an alkaline effect on the body.
When it hits the body,
When it hits the
does.
body,
Spot
yeah.
on, yeah.
And bicarb, I used to drink bicarb with lime juice, a pint of it, put a full spoon in with water. A friend of mine, Conspiracy John, got me into it. I haven't done it in years, but I know all about it. And it's amazing that you do that now. You're the first person outside of Conspiracy John that I've ever heard to do that. You drink that every morning?
Yeah, but sometimes then I'll do a salt water flush. I might do that every fortnight. So that'd be 2 teaspoons of Himalayan pink salt in temperate water. And just drink that down. I know it's not the nicest to drink, but you know, those things that we do consume, when they taste horrible, they're the best things that we could actually consume.
Yeah.
So absolutely fantastic for clearing out the digestive system. So you wouldn't want to leave the house for about 2 hours. So it really cleans you out. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
In about 4 glasses of, let's say, 800 ml of water.
Yeah.
So 2 teaspoons pink Himalayan salt, warm water. Drink it back. It's like drinking the ocean out, to be fair, but
Yeah.
excellent for you.
Are you into your health? So in what you put into your body in terms of like, you know, like, cause that's like, I like apple cider vinegar again. I've gone down that route. I've done the bicarb and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of like, I'm a desperate man for the phases.
Yeah.
Right? In my life, I've been into this now. I'll be into this for 6 months and then I'll be into something else for another 6 months. But is that something that you've always been, because you're in good shape, like you're a strong looking man,
Thank
you know? Is that something that you've always been into? Like,
I've tried my best all my life to try and look after my health, but you got to have what I call that triad: mind, body, and spirit. If you don't work on all 3 every day, well, then you're not going to live a life of happiness and fulfillment, you know.
yeah.
But it's very important what you put into your mouth. It really is.
So mind, body, and spirit, right? So body, you're putting good stuff into your body. What do you do for your mind every day?
I do a lot of affirmations, visualizations, and short meditations.
What kind of meditations?
I like to listen to frequencies, hertz frequencies. I've been listening to them for many years, you know. Like 528 hertz would be classed as God's frequency.
Yeah.
432 hertz would be a manifestation frequency. So it's a kind of it's a hack sheet too for people if they want to manifest anything into their lives, is to listen to 432 hertz when they're visualizing.
This is crazy, man. Because I was talking about cannabis there before you came on, and that's literally what I've been listening to at night time.
Is it really?
I swear, because I went onto YouTube and I was like, I just need something here because my cravings were just off the charts for the first couple of days, and I was really struggling, you know, and I couldn't sleep. I was waking up every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, sweating and all that kind of stuff. And on day 2, I put on, I went onto YouTube and I was like, because I've always tampered with those frequencies as well.
Yeah.
Since I've been listening to them, I've been waking up clear. I slept through the night. There's definitely a power in them.
Oh, they're fantastic. I mean, this all originated from, I think, with Royal Raymond Rife. It goes right back to the 1930s, 1940s, where he came up with he invented a frequency machine that was actually curing cancer, literally within minutes, you know.
What happened to that machine?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, the FDA got a hold of it. It disappeared, you know.
And
I know they've come up with one today, and they're saying that it is the right frequency again, you know, the machine that will give you a lot of different frequencies. But look, I beg to differ.
Yeah. What happened to him?
He kind of went by the wayside as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he? Shortly afterwards?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's mad.
I know I could be wrong in that, but I believe so, you know.
That is mad. That is absolutely insane. Like I suppose, like it's like I suppose when you talk, and we won't get into conspiracies now.
Yeah.
But like it is weird. Like when you think about medicine, when you think about modern medicine, like, you know, why are they trying to cure you if like they'll be out of, like if they are trying to cure you, they'll be out of a job. Do you know, in the morning? Like, do you know what I mean? No one is telling you to have bicarbonate soda in the morning to alkalize your body, or apple cider vinegar to help help heal your digestive system and aid your digestive system, which has been around and natural and are easy to use, and you know, and are like cheap as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird world, man.
But you were saying there you've ADHD. You should try Udo's oil for that. It's excellent. Okay.
What's that now?
ADHD. It's just an oil you get in the shop. Okay.
Okay.
You get it in Hair's Health. That's where I normally get my stuff anyway. Hair's Health. They have a place in where is it? Doesn't matter.
Patrick
Plunkett Street.
Or Alvin Plunkett Street.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
and,
know. It's kind of I know it. And it's
And
like
Douglas Court.
Douglas Court.
But excellent for ADHD. Okay.
Udo's oil.
Udo's oil. So check that out yourself. And your wife with the headaches, try tapping. You know, when she's getting a headache, just try tapping or just rub on this point here. Okay, rub into that point, especially with a migraine. You know,
Yeah,
for
she
about
gets
a minute or
migraines.
so,
Yeah.
like that, just like that. You know,
For
yeah,
how long?
it's about a minute until it goes.
Yeah.
Just take a few breaths when she's doing that. Like,
Do you do breath work?
I do.
Do
Yeah,
you practice breath work?
yeah.
Wim Hof is a fella now that I got into again
Yeah,
now during
it's
the
fantastic.
absolutely amazing.
Mm.
But like now that I've stopped smoking cannabis now, right? I want to start really focusing on my health, and I was into Wim Hof quite a bit again during the pandemic.
Mhm.
And I 3 sets of 30. I do 3 sets of 30 in the morning, 3 sets of 30 in the evening,
Fantastic.
and you would feel amazing. You just feel like your whole body's
It's
oxygenated.
excellent.
And again, it's something that's I think is I think what's missing in our world at the moment is education at a young age inside in schools.
Yeah.
For that's such a great way to alleviate anxiety.
Isn't
For
it
example,
just?
you know.
Isn't it just? And I've spoken about this with some of the workshops and seminars and that, you know. If young kids were shown and taught how to manage their emotions at an early age, there'd be very little mental health issues today.
Yeah, it's always from childhood, isn't it?
Well, we are as a result of our past experiences, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're going to go deep into all that anyway in a few minutes. But before we do that, Ger, we're going to play a little game. All right,
Okay, I
you're,
love
you're
games.
smiling at the side of your mouth there now. This game is called, and if you want to join in, you're very welcome. Trending Topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. All right.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
So I have 3 trending topics. I was WhatsApping you this morning. I always assume that when I have new guests on that they don't know exactly what's going to go on. So I just try to alleviate it by just giving you a kind of an idea of what's going on. I didn't tell you what the trending topics were until about 5 minutes before we started the podcast, so that the conversation be organic and natural and real. And there is no right or wrong answer, but we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. First one is hashtag e-scooter.
E-scooter.
E-scooter. And I think why that's trending, Ger, and I'm not sure, is there seems to be a lot of news about e-scooters at the moment. A lot of kids in Dublin in particular hopping on these scooters, no helmets, flying up and down the road, and a load of injuries falling off and being rushed to hospital and brain injuries and stuff like that. And have you got an e-scooter?
No.
Have you ever been on an e-scooter?
No.
What's your opinion of e-scooters?
I was nearly killed about 4 weeks ago, I'd say, by an e-scooter. Yeah.
Go away.
I was going in town to get a takeaway, and I was walking down by Father Matthew Street, heading onto the mall, and hands in my pocket, and something just said, just look to the right. And just as I was about to put my foot, I just looked to the right and practically touched my nose. I would estimate 40 mile an hour.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
You got to slap it at you know all about
I'd
it.
have been killed.
Yeah.
I'd have been killed. I got an awful shock.
And did your man stop
He was
or
gone. He was, before I even said, he was about 200 metres down the road.
was it a kid?
No, it was a guy. It was a grown man. It was a grown man, you know.
They're reckless.
Mm.
They're reckless.
I got some shock there, I tell you.
That's like that's a near death experience, I suppose. Yeah, you would if you got hit by anything traveling at 40 miles an hour.
But you think of what you're just walking along and
Yeah, impact.
yeah,
And the whole thing. That's mad, man. That's mad. So
lights out like.
have you ever had another near death experience? Is that your first time?
By an e-scooter?
Well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah, or just a regular scooter.
If we're going back to childhood, no, we couldn't even afford a scooter, to be honest with you, know.
Did you have scooters when you were growing up?
We used to make the stairnas.
What were they?
Like you'd sit into an orange box or something, or you'd make it out of timber and put 4 ball bearings, the little wheels
Oh, yeah.
front, and you'd steer it like with a bit of string.
And push down the hill.
and no helmets, no nothing. Like
Yeah, they were
the tough times, boy. You know,
were-
raised knees, cut heads, everything.
But you know what was interesting about those times is like you had to go away and build it yourself.
Oh, that was it.
Do you know what I
We
mean?
were brilliant with our hands.
Yeah.
I was sewing my own pantses by the time I was 12. Like,
Go away.
yeah, honestly, darning my own pantses.
Sewing your own pantses.
yeah.
Jesus Christ, I can barely make a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my kids are worse. They wouldn't even know what a cup of tea is. But this is the way the world is kind of. Some people would say evolving. I would say almost devolving. You know, because it was like for you to make that little cart back in the day, like you'd have to go in, you'd have to figure it out, ball bearings, get the wheels,
That's right. Yeah.
make sure that it was structurally sound. Was the steering wheel going to fucking work? And
That's right.
you know, get a couple of lads to push you and a
It was
bit
a
of
steering cart, or you know what? We were easily pleased. Just a tire with a stick, and we'd go around the corners, just hitting the tire. I'm showing me age here now and there.
But I don't know. Like, I mean, I asked you your age beforehand. I couldn't believe that. I thought we were around the same age.
Yeah.
But my kids, right? My kids now, who are lovely, beautiful souls, right? I have 3 children. One is a grown-up adult now, right? But I have 2 small boys, a 9 and a 7-year-old. And myself and my wife's full-time job is limiting those boys on devices. Is to limit their time on devices. Now, you can't, unfortunately,
Excuse me.
eradicate them because it's almost a form of child abuse if you do that because every child is on something now, right?
Yeah.
But we have them down to an hour a day now at the moment, and sometimes we would break that, to be honest, right? We bought them a bike there now at the weekend, and we're teaching them how to cycle and take them out for walks, and I take them over to the pitch to play hurling with them and football, and they're in their summer camps and stuff like that. But if they are not entertained, or if they're complaining about boredom, and I'm like, boredom is actually good. Boredom is good for the mind because you'll create when you're bored.
People find it very hard to be present themselves.
Yeah. I can see that as well. Yeah, I guess one thing that I notice as well is like, you know, even when I'm in the car and I'm on the way to a gig, I'm always trying to distract myself from my thoughts. I'm always trying to listen to a podcast, put on the radio, make a phone call, you know, on the hands-free, of course. Do you know what I mean? It's very unusual just to sit there and just be there with your own thoughts. Like most people are trying to distract themselves. I find, like obviously, you know, I'm no expert on everybody that's out there, but I do think there's a kind of an epidemic of distraction at the moment.
Indeed there is, but like, would your thoughts be somewhat intrusive in a negative format?
So no, I think I'm pretty good now. I think I'm pretty good. I'm similar to yourself now. I have a kind of a routine in the morning and around lunchtime and in the evening where I like it's between prayers and affirmations, and I'm combining both of them together now in the last couple of weeks.
And that comes with practice and consistency. And
it's consistent. It's the one thing that I would say, and I was talking to you about 369 there beforehand. It is something that I try and do every year, is the 369 technique, the Nikola Tesla affirmation technique. And I'll write 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times before I go to bed. And then I'll do that. And and then throughout the year, then I'll verbalize it.
Yeah.
And I find that has kept my mental, like, because I would have had issues, I suppose, like anyone else, with anxiety and intrusive thoughts. Like, I'm not perfect, 100% not perfect, but this would have been a few years ago. But since I kind of put that practice into my world, everything changed, Ger.
Yeah, it's
like,
wonderful.
Everything changed. I found my wife through it. I have a beautiful family through it. I have an amazing home. I wrote all these things into existence. My career, I was in a career where I did everything. I sold cars. I sold door-to-door insurance. I worked in a pub. I had a window cleaning company. I was going around knocking on doors, asking people did they want their gutters cleaned.
Yeah.
I did absolutely everything.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I wouldn't have been happy. Like, I was always like looking to take the edge off, get locked and smoke weed and stronger stuff when I was even younger, you know. But it was all because I just, I didn't have control of my mind, really, like, you know.
Yeah.
But affirmations for me, I was telling you a story there beforehand. This goes back about 20 odd years ago, and I was starting off as a comedian, and I was kind of half seeing this girl, and really liked her. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't know if she liked me or whatever. But anyway, one night she sent me a text. She goes, do you believe in the law of attraction? You know? No, I had never heard of the law of attraction. I didn't know anything at all about it. absolutely nothing about it. So I text her back like, yeah, love it, love the law of attraction. It's brilliant. I'm all about it. And then straight onto Google to find out what it was like. Do you know what I mean? And so that when I met her the next time, I could kind of go, oh yeah, I love, like, thoughts become things and vibrations and all this kind of stuff. And I'll be honest, man, I didn't believe it. I thought it was gobbledygook. I thought this is, what the fuck is this like? Do you know what I mean? But if I could end up getting the shift off this girl, I'd go for it, like. And anyway, and I was saying this to you beforehand, right? And it's a true story. Anyway, this woman was absolutely amazing. Now, this girl, right? I won't give her name. She was an amazing, like, and she just disappeared. She just disappeared out of my life, right? And I sometimes think to myself, was she, and like, because I was going through a real rough patch, like things weren't going great for me in many, many ways in my life, and I would have had back then lots and lots and lots of intrusive thoughts, negative, liar, you're only what are you fucking doing with your life? All this kind of stuff.
Sabotage.
Yeah. And it's taken 20 long years of that journey to realise that you're in control of your own thoughts, really. Like.
But you are. Like, you can't control your thoughts, but you can be in charge of them. There's a big difference, And we spoke earlier about you driving the car and stuff, and if thoughts did come, but you've kind of mastered that. No, to be fair, but anybody listening or watching, if these negative thoughts do come, don't resist them, as if to say, oh my God, here we go again. Oh, how am I going to deal with these thoughts, What you resist will persist, okay? So when the thoughts come, just stop in the moment and say, does this thought serve me, yes or no? This too will pass.
I've heard this too will pass.
And it will.
Yeah.
It will.
And that's e-scooters then, is it? Hashtag Bruce Lee.
You went away a bit. Bruce Lee.
I don't know why Bruce Lee now was on my Google this morning. A picture of Bruce Lee was there, and I was like, I'll throw Bruce Lee down there. And I actually do know why I wrote him down, right? Because he was in that famous kind of yellow top, that yellow tracksuit.
The one-piece tracksuit, yeah.
The one-piece tracksuit.
The black stripe down the side.
With the black. Do you know much about Bruce Lee?
I got into martial arts because of BruceLee back in 1978.
Well, I knew you did a bit of martial arts.
Yeah.
And I thought that would fit in nice, but I didn't.
I still actually use the nunchakus on a daily basis.
Is that the?
Yeah, I still practice with them. Yeah.
You
love it.
Really?
I love it, yeah. Like the nunchakus, to somebody that doesn't know what they are, they'd have been called the Bruce Lee sticks.
I would have called them nunchucks.
Nunchucks, but the nunchakus would be the...
Nunchucks.
Nunchakus. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the name of that movie where he fought Chuck Norris and the big tall black dude as well? Up through the stairs.
Yeah, up through the stairs. Hang on now a second. I should know this off the top of my head. Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon was the one on the island. The Fist of Fury, I think, was the first one. That was fantastic show. The Big Boss.
The Big Boss.
I can't remember the name of that. But I remember the actual scene and the typical Chinese, building and stuff with all the floors going up, and yeah, it was fantastic.
I loved Bruce Lee now growing up, and I was when I was a kid, I wanted to be a ninja. I mean, I'm like ninjas in the 80s. Myself and my friends, when we'd go into town to rent a video, right? There was a video shop inside Mallow called Video One, right? And we'd always try, and like they were 18s, we were only about 12 or 13, so we'd try and pick whichever one of us looked the oldest.
Yeah.
We were still only 13, like the person behind the counter obviously knew, but we'd go up and we were like, Way of the Dragon there, by. Or something with a pair of tits in it as well. That would be it. And we'd rush home then and fucking throw it on and watch it. But I remember one time watching a Bruce Lee movie with my friend Fergus. And we were, the minute the movie be over, we'd be outside doing all the moves, hanging off trees. And oh my God.
Fantastic.
Bruce Lee was amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he was a spiritual guy as well, wasn't he?
Oh, he was, yeah. Incredible sayings the guy has, Water finds its own level. That's one of his,
Water finds it, be like water.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He like water, yeah. That was a very good Chinese accent, actually.
Be like water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was an amazing guy.
And he died, did he die from taking an aspirin, actually, or something?
That's what they say. And then there was other conspiracy theorists saying that he'd a touch of death by some other kung fu master, It's just a lot of stuff out there, speculation and that.
And his young fella, Brandon, then died tragically young as well.
He did. He shot himself, or somebody shot him by accident on a set.
The Crow.
The Crow, correct. You're on the ball.
Unbelievable soundtrack to The Crow as well.
Really, yeah?
Yeah. That's it, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh fucking hell! But it actually,
Yeah.
I remember watching The Crown, like, and they finished the movie. It was the first time I ever knew that you could finish a movie after someone had died. I can't pronounce the word now, but is it posthumously when someone passes away? And then,
Posthumously, I think, yeah.
yeah, we'll get
Yeah.
the short one.
Yeah, but like that, he's not the first person that was killed on site, like, of a movie scene.
Who
Somebody else recently.
Oh, there was,
last
yeah.
2 years or so.
Jesus, yeah, with the gun. What's his name? Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, where they going with this? I mean, there should be blanks in the guns, and
Yeah.
how a live round is finding its way into this.
And even if there isn't, like, I wonder, is there a bullet in this? You wouldn't be, do you know what I mean? Like, don't take the chance, do you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, Bruce Lee's an interesting character, and I remember Kato. Do you remember him as Kato?
Yeah,
In
fantastic.
what was that? In
The Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, that was a great show as
Yeah.
well. Like,
And-
and he was just so fast.
Mm.
So, and the reason I picked, I know now a reason I picked that, because I was listening to a segment of a podcast you did with the Tunaris a few years ago,
Mhm.
and you were talking about Shotokan karate,
Yeah.
or as I like to pronounce it, karate. I have 3 belts in Shotokan
Have you?
karate.
Yeah.
The first 3. What are the first, like I remember Kidambarai Makida. Remember that? And, like,
Kidambarai.
and you do your
Yeah.
kata and stuff like that.
Kidambarai, yeah.
Yeah, and I loved it. I really loved it. And it was something, and I did it again. I was a teenager, 13, 14, myself and two of my friends on a Saturday morning into Mallow, into a kind of an old backwater
Yeah.
wet gym, and you just went through it, and I just really enjoyed it. I kind of regret
Yeah.
not doing it.
Yeah, but you know
after
what? It's great character building, and it's great for discipline, especially when you get into it at a young age, you know. I mean, I abhor violence and aggression. I really do, you know. But anybody to get into martial arts for the right reasons, it's incredible. It's incredible, you know.
Do you still do Shotokan karate?
No.
Do you?
No.
How far along did you get on it?
Third brown. I left just before my black belt. I was
The pencil
Spain
staying up,
soccer at the time, and there was a big match coming up,
and you had to choose.
and I chose that one. I
Yeah.
could have went back at any time, you know.
Yeah, third brown. That's fairly high, man. That's
Yeah, but back then it was 5 years to get to your third brown. I think people get there a lot faster today, you know.
yeah.
And I was in I have to mention it. I was in a club called Brown Street with Mickey Donovan. What a man this guy was. Incredible instructor he was, you know. Big part of my life he was, Mickey. Unbelievable guy.
How was he a big part of your life?
Again, what he instilled in us, like, you know. Number one, always walk away. There's no need to get involved in anything. Talk your way out of a situation. Be kind to people because you don't know what anybody's going through, you know. But he was just an authentic, transparent instructor. Really tough guy now. Really tough guy. And anybody of the age will know exactly who I'm talking about here and what he stood for. A great time for Mickey.
And stuff that he taught you stuck with you so to this day. Then, like,
It did.
we'll move off Bruce Lee and we go on to the last one, Kevin Keegan.
Kevin Keegan.
You mentioned soccer there. You chose there at one stage you would play the football instead of going for the black belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was Kevin Keegan your era?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
big time, yeah. Back in the 70s, Kevin was playing for Liverpool especially, you know.
Yeah.
Fantastic player. Fantastic player.
Did you do sports soccer team?
Not really, to be honest with you. What I do support is good, talented footballers. You know, I don't like what I'm seeing today. I don't like the carry on with when somebody gets a tackle, as if you blow them. It's like he's after getting shot. Rolling around the ground, up with the car, trying to get somebody sent off. In my day, there was tackles from behind. You were getting elbowed in the face, and you got back up again. You just got on with it, you know. Really tough, really tough. I was playing with a team called Green Mountain Rangers at the time, you know. And I went over to London and I was spotted over there. I ended up playing semi-professional. And I have to tell you this story, lads. One of the really good things that happened to me in my life was I met George Best in 1986.
My God.
In a place called Cromwell Road in Earl's Court, where I was living at the time. And I went into, it was a Saturday afternoon, and it was sunny, summertime. And I went into the shop and I was looking, I was going, Jesus Christ, that's George Best, you know. 86 now, right? So he came out of the shop. I followed him out, obviously. And I said, I'm not going to state the obvious, George. And straight away he turns around and he said, I'm not going to try his accent. You're a Cork lad. And I said, I am. I said, any chance I can have a chat with you there? He says, not a bother. Imagine this now with Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo,
Because
right?
he's
He
off
says,
that ilk.
come on, away up here, he said. So we sat on the wall, and I spoke to him for about a half an hour, right? And then I started laughing. He goes, what are you laughing at? All right, that wasn't a bad
Wasn't
accent,
bad.
was it? What are you laughing at? And I goes, no wonder the women were after you. No wonder the women were mad after you, handsome bastard, I said, right? And he was a handsome looking guy, you know,
Yeah.
before, I suppose, the liver failure really kicked in. He was tan, his hair was long. He looked absolutely amazing, you know. I don't know, was he just back from the States playing out there, LA Galaxy, I think it was, or he was going out there at the time, I can't remember. I'd say he was just back from there, you know. But 86, and I spoke to him about everything. No, he was playing in Cork. I don't know, did you know
I
that?
did, yeah.
Yeah, he played a couple of games, and we spoke about that, and it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
No airs, no graces. I didn't ask for an autograph or anything. It was just like, this is unbelievable. Like, I'm talking to George Best here, you know.
Like, I really admire that there now, because I like, sometimes I'd get like, I'd see someone like, this is weird now, hurlers, like if I saw Jimmy Barry Murphy there now a few years ago,
What a hurler.
like, and a great Gaelic footballer as well, but a brilliant hurler, iconic, like, and everything in my body wanted to go over and say hi, I'm whatever. I've met him since now, and I have done that, but like, I would be very shy to do what you did there, and I think that's a great attribute to have, to be able to just walk up to someone and go, "Hi, I'm Ger there. What's the crack?"
Yeah.
Like, to sit with George Best on a wall in 1986 over in England and talk for half an hour.
It's fantastic.
What should you talk about?
We talked about football, I
Yeah,
guess.
I
you know.
suppose. Yeah.
We talked about football a lot, and I spoke to him about when he was playing back in Cork, you know. And I remember I played with Green Mountain Rangers back in 81, 82. We won the Enterprise Cup and the league that year. And Bertie O'Sullivan was his name. He was actually on goal for Celtic when George was playing, you know. And I mentioned him, and he spoke about him and everything, and it was just absolutely fantastic.
I didn't realise now that you played semi-pro. You must have been a tidy baller. So, like,
Yeah, well,
what position did you play?
outside left.
Winger.
Yeah.
And were you a tricky winger, or were you had your speed? Tricky.
Yeah.
You look kind of tricky. All right, you have low centre of
Take him
gravity.
on all the time, like.
Yeah. And would you be a goal scorer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you? Yeah.
A winger, goal scorer. I could never understand why a lot of people couldn't use both feet, you know.
You were both. You were able to kick with both feet.
Made no difference.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the key. Like, I'm with my young fellas now. I'm trying to get them to hit left and right and kick left and right. I suppose it's like anything else, isn't it? If you continue to train, if you continue to train your mind or whatever it is, like, obviously you could be naturally good at it, but if you're not, you can get there. But it's just repetition. Like.
But it's repetition, it's consistency, and it's what I call the rule of 100. And the rule of 100 is if you practice something for 20 hours every single day, it works out at roughly 100 hours a year, you become one of the top 1% in the world.
20 hours a day?
No, 20 minutes.
Oh, 20 minutes a day. Jesus, all right, okay.
Rule of 100.
So if you practice something for 20 minutes a day, every day, you'll elevate yourself into the top 1%.
Big time.
That's amazing. I never heard of that one now before. So can I ask you a little bit? I'm interested in that now, as I think that's fascinating. So you went over and you played semi-pro in England. Did you get spotted in Ireland, or?
No, I got spotted in England.
You got spotted in England. And what was it like playing semi-professional football in England?
It was fantastic.
Yeah?
It was fantastic. Absolutely loved it.
What year was that around?
86.
86.
86, yeah.
And
I threw it away, to be honest with you.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Tell me, if you don't mind me asking, how did you throw it away?
I went to New York. I didn't go back playing football. And when I came back, my first daughter was born in 87. This was 87 then. I hadn't been playing football for quite some time. And I was living in South London in Streatham Hill. You're having a laugh, mate.
All right, mate.
South London, mate.
Not bad. I lived in London, in East London.
Yeah, East London, yeah. So I was living there with my wife-to-be and with our first child. And on the day she was born, I was driving back on my motorbike, and it was a summer's day, and I saw a football pitch, a place called Burntwood Lane in Wandsworth. And I just drove in the bike, and there was a match just about to start, and I asked the guy, any chance I can join the club, mate, or have a game here, you know? And he goes, yeah. Not a bother, like, you know what I mean? We try and get you a pair of boots down. I was like, straight away. I said, love it. Anyway, couldn't. Came back the next week and I started 6 teams, and I started with the sixth team, you know, and the following week I was playing for the first team, and I didn't look back. I just loved it, you know. No, that wasn't semi-pro, right? I'd gone from that, right?
Were you
fir-
semi-pro before that, is it?
Yeah, in the first game I played in, a referee said, "What are you doing playing this league match?" You know, and I said, "I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it," you know.
And why did you, what you said there a minute ago, interesting, you said I threw it away. That's an interesting thing to say now.
Yeah.
Why did you throw it away? How did you throw it away?
I didn't really realise at the time, I think,
Was it youth?
I believe I should have been picked up when I was younger. And there was a lot of kids and a lot of lads my age will say the same. I don't want to sound like I'm being egotistical about this, you know, but there was a lot of other young lads back then that were really talented, you know, that fell through the net, you know.
Yeah. And I suppose it's hard as well coming from Ireland. There's a lot of hoops to jump through, isn't there? Like, you know,
Yeah.
like even if you just look at Roy Keane, like the way, like Roy Keane, the greatest footballer Ireland has ever produced, in my opinion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I agree.
He was that close to never making it across the water.
Mm.
He played some final above in Dublin, and they lost 6 or 7-0, and the Nottingham Forest scouts on there. Didn't pick anyone from the first team, the winners, and picked a lad that was playing midfield for the team that lost 5 or 6-0. And there was so many situations prior to that where he was overlooked and overlooked and overlooked and overlooked.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's it comes back to the dogged determination and application of never giving up. You know, it's interesting to hear that now.
But knowing what I know now and looking back, you see, you know, my dad died when I was 12. I didn't have much of a push or support, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I suppose one of the really tough times for me was I was doing my junior senior trades as a plaster out in CIT, and I was just playing football. I'd stopped playing football completely, you know. I'd gone to martial arts, and I was just playing football out there one day. I'm saying competitively with a team, so I was just kicking around with the lads, and these guys said to me, "Look, we've been watching you there for a few days. Would you like to go for a trial with the Irish colleges team, you know?" And I says, "Yeah, whatever, like, you know," I was 17 or 18 or whatever it was. And I think 2 weeks later, I was getting the train up to Dublin. The train broke down just outside Dublin. Imagine this today now, right? We all get off the train, we walk up to Euston Station, and I get a cab, whatever ground, I don't know what it was, Home Farm or something. And I had my Roach's Stores plastic bag with my boots in it. Anybody that's watching of my vintage, we had no gear bags at the time. I mean, back with the UL Here and stuff, we used to change on the side of the pitch. Now, if there was a container, the container was being used for cows at the time, you know. So we'd have to train or tug off in these places, you know.
Yeah.
And if it was lashing down, you'd be tugging off at the side of the pitch, you know. And then you get your oranges at the start. So I went up to Dublin anyway, and I'll never forget it. The trial was on, and I said to this guy, no, looking back, he could have been a complete stranger. Maybe I should have went around to the other side or whatever. I don't know, but the way it was, I approached this guy, and I said, "Hi, my name is Ger Brien. I've come up here for the trials." And in the strong Dublin accent, he said, "Listen, Corky, the trials are finished." I said, I apologise, the train broke down. I said, out of my control. Bearing in mind now I'm only a kid. I said, but the trials are still on. He turned his back and he says, "Head off there now, son," he said. And then he cursed at me. He said, "The best thing you can do now is back to Cork." And turned his back again. And I walked up to him and I said, "What are you speaking to me like that for? You know, I just come up for a trial." He said, "Are you still here?" And then I said these words to him that they're imprinted in my subconscious mind. "If you give me 5 minutes on the pitch," I said, "put me in any position you want and put anybody you want up against me, I'll score 2 goals in 5 minutes. Are you still here?" And I just walked away.
Fucking hell.
You know? Wasn't meant to be.
Do you know what, Ger? That's a sad story, boy. That's a sad story. How old
I've-
were you when that
I've-
happened?
I've rarely told that story to anybody.
That's a sad story. I can kind of even hear the pain even in you saying it. And you said there that your dad passed when you were 12. And that's a big fear for me, actually. My wife's dad passed when she was 12 as well.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I'm trying to do with my life in this year in particular is I'm trying to turn it around from a health point of view, you know, so that I can be around for as long as I possibly can
Well done.
for my kids, you know. And I'm so sorry that
Listen,
happened to
you've
you,
nothing
man.
to be sorry about. I mean,
But that's a sad story, like. That's a tough one to take, because I could see, it all makes sense to me now. Like, I could see how, you know, you might, when you said, oh, throw that away or whatever, because you're used to the rejection. And look, everything happens for a reason in some ways, because, like, I mean, like, and we're going to get onto that there now in a second, like,
Yeah.
but, you know, we all have dreams, like, do you know what I mean? And when your dreams are trampled on for no fucking reason, it's a horrible
it's
thing.
shocking.
Like,
Can I tell you a quick story?
please tell me a quick story.
Um,
Make it long, though.
Quick story about the football, okay? I was playing in South London then with this normal team then, right? And I think I was 27. No, I thought I was too old at 27. I thought I was too old at 21 when I was spotted in the UK. And there's a longer story to that one, but I'll hold on to that one, right? But there was this young kid came up the club, and young black kid, right? Lovely fella. Didn't have two pennies to rub together. And they'd always get him, was it cans or bottles of Guinness at the time in the clubhouse afterwards. He was very quiet, you know. And I had great time for him. I took him under my wing, you know, and we played unbelievable, the two of us. He was on the right wing, I was on the left wing. And he was 18. And he used to always be complimenting me and stuff. And I'm going, look, Jamie, thanks very much, buddy. But I said, look, you have what I had, or had. But I said, you got youth on your side, you know. But knuckle down and focus on your craft. I said, but you'll make it. I used to always say that to him. You will make it, okay? All right, mate. So anyway, I found out he was hanging around with a really dodgy crew in South London, right? And I pulled him this Saturday when he came up. I said, Jamie, what's going on now, man? I said, lads are telling me you're hanging around with such and such a crew, you know. He goes, they're my mates. I said, they're not your mates. You know, show me your mates, I'll show you your future. I said, you're not going to get anywhere with these lads. And I haven't even met him, I said, focus on the football, right? So he was up the following Saturday, bang. Next thing, there's no sign of him. So I pulled one of my buddies. I said, where's Jamie? He's after being arrested for armed robbery, right? So anyway, he gets a 4-year stretch. I didn't see him then after that. And as the story goes, he gets a 4-year stint, and he's in prison. Now, get your head around this one, right? After a while, he's playing for the prison football team, and they bring semi-professional teams in to play them, under supervision, of course. So the manager of this team, they're called Cows Sports, I think they are. Cows Sports or something, COWS. Manager spots Jamie's talent, and he said to the warden, if this kid keeps his nose clean, we'll sign him when he comes out. Anyway, the warden allowed him to be signed when he was inside.
Go away.
Yeah. And he was left out on Saturdays.
Left out on Saturdays. That was what I was
He
going to
was
ask.
left out on Saturdays, and he started playing with the semi-pro side, and then they signed him. But the story is fantastic. Like when he'd be dropping them back to the prison, the manager, they stop off at the pub for a couple of pints of Guinness, right? It's fantastic. He used to love his Guinness. And then he was left out, right? So then he started doing an apprenticeship. And I think it was Steve Bruce? I can't remember who it was, the manager. I think it was Sunderland, I think. And he was rejected by Millwall now, and I think it was Middlesbrough, a lot of other teams, and I think it was Sunderland, could stand to be corrected here, signed him. Terry Butcher.
The England centre half.
Yeah, Terry Butcher signed him, and he said, get your kit together, he said, and drive up to Sunderland or wherever. I think it was Sunderland, and yeah. He says, why? He says, you're playing against Liverpool Monday night or whatever it was, you know. He was straight into it. So Jamie ended up playing for Sunderland, Bradford City, Leicester City, the Jamaican national team. Now he's a personal trainer to a lot of the professional Premier League footballers in London. He's probably 55 now or so. Fit as a fiddle.
He's still in contact with him?
Yeah, I contacted him on Instagram going back a few years ago. And I said, hi, Jamie, Irish Jerry. Right, Irish Ger Here, and he was back to me within seconds. Jesus Christ, brother, Bruver. Right, oh, hi, brother. And we spoke about it, you know, past and all the rest of it and stuff. And I still keep in contact with him.
What a story, man.
So basically, he's a book out. I actually think there's a film coming out, and it's called what a title, From Prison to Premiership.
Oh, that's a fucking amazing story, man.
You know.
That's an amazing. So
Yeah.
I didn't know any of this now about you at all. Like we haven't talked about
There's-
Kevin
there's a
Keegan
lot
at all.
more.
Like
No, we haven't. But yeah, back to Kevin. Look, I grew up watching him on Match of the Day with your man Jimmy
Hill.
Hill.
Yeah.
The black and white television.
We used to have. I went to school. I was in boarding school, and we had the president. That was the main
Mhm.
priest, Dr. Cotter, and his nickname was Brr because he had a big jaw, right? And that
Love
was Jimmy Hill was like if you either call him Hill, yeah, it's a Brr. Like that was the kind, and that was the softest slag that you could get in our school. Like, do you know what I mean? It went a lot worse, I can tell you. Like, but what an amazing story, man! Like, I did not know that about you now at all. I genuinely didn't. Like, that is so interesting, man. That's
Yeah.
an interesting. You've had an interesting development in your life.
Yeah.
We're going to conclude trending topics. Concluding now, trending topics. We're going to need Patrick O'Sullivan. Because I'm one second now, lads. Are we talking for an hour? Ah, lad. How are we going to fucking fit this in?
We might have to do a bit of editing.
We might, well, there'll be no editing, man. This is all going in. This is all beautiful.